Good morning. Happy Friday. Hi there, Aileen here. It is Friday morning here in Mujan. It is 30 degrees, early 30s already, so it is absolutely boiling here. So I have the aircon on, I have my water here next to me, and I am ready to go. If you're joining me live here this morning, say good morning. Let me know where you are. If you're watching this on replay, hashtag replay. If you're listening to this, brilliant, 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 after the fact. So it is, as I said, Friday here in Singapore. This is kind of the start of our weekend, though my two boys actually have been off school for the past 2 days. Let me just check on my internet. It's looking rather low here this morning. So I just want to make sure I'm actually on the right one. Okay, it is not looking great here this morning, but hopefully, if you can hear me, if you can see me, hashtag hello would be great. I have a great session here this morning and I'm excited to get started. I'm just going to check that I am live in my group. So make sure that I am live in the right place. Okay, let me see. Am I seeing myself? I'm not actually seeing myself just yet, so I'm just going to give it a few more seconds. If you're joining me live here this morning, say hello, tell me where you are watching me from. And I'm just going to get started in a moment because honestly, I don't like faffing around. I really, really don't. So I'm just going to pop in here and tag a few people so they find me. So let me do that. So I found the video, which is brilliant. So now I just want to make sure that the people who said they wanted to be live are live and they can find me. So I've just tagged a few people there. So hopefully that will help people to find me. So what am I going to be talking about this morning? I'm not going to faff around. I don't like faffers. I don't like people to be invited for an event and then spend loads of time talking about nothing. So I am going to get started right away. Say hello if you're joining me. Say hi. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Let me know. So this morning I'm going to be talking about how to select print and pattern for your clients so they recommend you to all their friends. We all know that referrals are really, really powerful. So we want to send our clients away absolutely delighted so they come back, but also so that they recommend you over and over again. Now, if you're watching me live here this morning, I want to say I appreciate that you're here. Thank you for spending your time with me. I understand that most people, have many other things that they could do. Give yourself the next 30 minutes, close all the tabs on your computer, close all the tabs on your phone, and just give yourself the next 30 minutes to really focus on what I'm talking about, because I feel that print and pattern is hugely maybe ignored or not really exploited by many personal stylists. I think there's a huge opportunity in this area, and I want to talk to you about that this morning. So number one, the first thing I'm going to talk about is basically what I see happening around print and pattern in the image industry. And I'm also going to talk about, the 5 things you need to consider when you're recommending print and pattern. And I'm going to talk about something that you may not have heard of before. So it's well worth waiting for it. I'm also going to talk a little bit about the print that I'm wearing this morning, if I get time at the end, and talk you through why this print works so well for me. So I love practical examples. I love showing you practically how the tips I'm giving you and the direction I'm giving you work in real life. So I'm going to talk about that toward the end if I have time. But I actually have a lot to cover this morning. So I want to make sure that I cover all of that first. Now, I'm not actually seeing any comments in the group. It looks like people are not finding me for some reason. I have no idea why, but I'm just going to get started anyway. And if you're watching this on replay, #replay. Okay. So, how to select print and pattern for your clients so they recommend you to all their friends. Now, I want to start by telling you a story because really what I want you to take away from my talk this morning is that there is a huge opportunity in this area. There really is a huge opportunity, and I don't see that it is exploited. And I know that if you're watching this, you're interested, and you might be the person that's going to run with this. I don't know, but I do feel that there's a huge opportunity here. Okay, so first of all, I want you to think about how many of you include print and pattern in your color or style consultations. Do you currently include print and pattern? And what depth do you cover it to? Now, the reason I'm asking you this question is because the first time I got my colors done, there was really no mention of print and pattern. And when I look back now, I realize, gosh, this was a huge gap. You know, the color analysis did not contain any information whatsoever about print and pattern and how I should wear print and pattern. So to me, that is, as I look back now, as I look back a couple of years after training as a personal stylist, I think that's a huge gap because we all want print and pattern in our wardrobes. And what I found is that many clients who came to me over the years, they didn't have any print and pattern because they found that, you know, they couldn't really find print that worked for them or pattern that worked for them. And I think this is a crying shame. And I think it is a massive gap if you're not including this in either your color or your style consultation. And then after I trained as a personal stylist, I found that the training on print and pattern was rudimental at best. It was really basic. There wasn't a lot of training around print and pattern. And again, it was like a huge gap in the training as I saw it. So this morning, I would like to talk to you about what the opportunities are in this area and also what you should be doing and what you should be considering if you want to master this area. So when I trained as a personal stylist, I got minimal training around print and pattern, and basically the training I got was around the 4 seasons. And the training that I received was that if you are summer, you know, wear soft watercolor prints, you know, florals are really great for you, and anything that looks misty and dusty. So that was the recommendation for a summer person. For a winter person, you were told, oh, geometric prints all the way, high contrast and geometric prints. And then if you were in autumn, you were told like prints of nature, leaves, that kind of thing. And then if you were spring, it was kind of smaller, more delicate print with more color in it. So like butterflies or, you know, little colored dots or, you know, kind of more cutesy kind of pattern, like flowers and things like that, that were, you know, cute and kind of ditzy. But honestly, we've all seen many clients who come into us and they don't fall neatly into those categories. Like take myself, for instance, if I was told to wear florals, I mean, I'm already kind of classic looking and kind of roundy looking. So putting pure florals on me makes me look bigger and old-fashioned. It didn't make me look fresher and younger for sure, which is what I wanted, or to look more modern. So telling me that, you know, I should just wear florals was not really very helpful to me. Actually, it kind of pushed me away from wearing any kind of print at all, because I just felt it made me look like a granny. It made me look old. It didn't make me feel good about myself. And I think if you just stick to those basic recommendations in terms of print and pattern, you're doing your client a disservice. The other problem I found was that in my own consultations, and what I see with personal stylists out there now, is we try to fit everything into one consultation. So when people come and get their colors done, you're kind of thinking, well, I want to give them everything. I want to give them everything so that they have everything. But the problem with this is the consultations end up being really long. The consultations end up being exhausting for yourself and exhausting for your client. And a lot of the information just isn't retained, and you can't kind of go into the kind of depth that you need to with these kind of topics. So my recommendation around this is that if you want to master prints and pattern, if you want to give your client decent information around print and pattern, you need to consider that this is a separate consultation. I'm a huge fan of shorter consultations with more in-depth knowledge, and then spread it out over several consultations and charge more. Otherwise, you're doing your client a disservice. What I see is people trying to jam everything into one session, and you don't really go to any depth in the consultation then. Instead of slowing it down, make your consultations shorter. Like especially if you're working online, a 60-minute consultation is a lot. I would be even inclined to bring that down even to a 45-minute consultation. So rather than trying to deliver everything in one consultation, split it into 3, 4, 6 consultations and deliver information that's much more in depth. Now, I think online work is a great opportunity around print and pattern, because one of the other limiting things I found with working face to face was you didn't really get a load of time to study people, you know, when they came in to get their colors done. Whereas now, when you're doing like online color analysis, for instance, people send their pictures ahead of time. So you have loads of time to study the pictures and look at the line and design in their face, in their body, and then make recommendations based on that. So I do feel that online work has really opened up an opportunity around giving much, much clearer and deeper instructions around line and design and print and pattern and surface and texture for your client. I think it's an amazing opportunity, actually, and I'm surprised that somebody hasn't already kind of niched into this area and created something around this, because there is enough in print and pattern. And it's a wide open blue ocean. It's a blue ocean. Nobody isn't covering it really in the depth that's possible. Nobody seems to be a master of this. And I think this is a shame. I think it's a real shame that somebody hasn't niched down into this area. So let's get to specifics. I really want to look at specifics with this, because I want to send you away with useful information that you can start using straight away. So when you are looking at print and pattern, just like color, you're looking at a continuation of what you already see in the body, not only around color, but around the 5 things you need to consider actually are the coloring and level of contrast of the person. So that's really color, color coding them and understanding the level of contrast. Number 2 is the texture in the skin and the hair. You need to consider the texture in the skin and the hair as a basic. Number 3, you need to consider the lines in the face and the body. So you need to consider the lines in the face and the body. And I'm going to go into a little bit more about the lines in the face, because Really, that's what we're looking at when we're selecting print. We want a continuation of the line that we see, the lines that we see in the face. We also need to consider scale. There's the scale of the body and the scale of the features when we are selecting print and pattern. And of course, we can't forget style personality. You know, I didn't want to be put in florals. I didn't want to look like a curtain. So style personality is really, really important as well. So there are 5 key things there. You know, that is a lot of things to take into consideration when you're making a recommendation for someone. So it's not something that's tagged on to the end of a colour consultations. I really don't believe that. I believe that it merits a separate consultation. It actually merits a separate consultation, and your client will thank you forever, because prints and patterns are one of the hardest things for your client to master. They don't really always know how to do it. Okay. So, and as I said, online is really opening up this area for you to niche into this area and to take more time to work in this area and send your client away delighted. Now, what do I mean by the lines in the face and the body? Basically, I'm going to take you through what lines I consider you need to consider. So the first thing is the eyebrows. Are they curved or are they straight? What about the eyes in the line, the lines in the eyes themselves? Are they curved or are they straight? What about the hood on the eye? Is it curved or is it straight? Is it small or is it big? What about the nose, the tip of the nose and the length of the nose? Is it rounded or is it more straight and thin, or maybe curved? Look at the shape of the nose around the tip and the length. The mouth. Is the mouth more curved or is it more straight? Or is it a combination of both? I would say my mouth is a combination of both. There's the straight lines on the upper lip, very, very straight diagonal lines, and then it's more curved on the lower lip. And then also the shape of the face and the hairline have to be considered as well. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different areas there that you need to look at detail and come up with, you know, your thoughts around, does this person better suit curved pattern or straight pattern? Or like most people, do they do better with a combination of both? So for instance, when you look at me, I do better with a combination of both. I have both straight lines and curved lines. The straight lines are softened a little, so they're not necessarily sharp straight lines. So I find that, you know, my best straight lines are diagonal lines that are softened a little. And I will talk a little bit more about that toward the end of this live, to give you the opportunity to see what I'm talking about. So you need to consider the eyebrows, you need to consider the eyes, you need to consider the nose, the tip and the length, you need to consider the mouth, the shape of the face and the hairline. Okay. So what are you looking at when you're looking at these different areas of the face? You're looking at the predominant line of movement. So this is getting a little bit more technical. So is it more curved or is it more straight? You're looking at the clarity at the edges. So are the lines very definite? Or is there kind of a soft blur? So all my straight lines have a soft blur, and that's to do with my coloring. So you have to consider the clarity at the edges, because the clarity at the edges should directly relate to the print and the pattern that you are choosing. The other thing that is totally ignored, as far as I can see in any kind of training, is the space around the features. How close are the features together, or how far apart are they? Is there large amounts of space between your features? If so, your print needs to have a moderate to large amount of space between them. And then the scale of the features. So are your features big or small? Again, this relates to the print you will select for the person, if it's big or small. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 additional things that you need to look at once you look at each of the features of the eyebrows, the eyes, the nose, the mouth, the shape of the face. There are so many things to consider when you are recommending print and pattern. And that's why it is something that you need to go into in depth. It is something that if you decide to specialize in this area, you could write a whole book on it without any problem. You could talk about it every single day. It is an area of expertise that if this is something that you're really, really interested in, explore the idea that you go further and you master this and you create something specifically around this, because this will allow you to stand out from the crowd. It will allow you from providing something that everyone else provides. And it will give you so much to talk about. And it will set you apart. But it's not about skimming the surface. It's not about giving the same old recommendations that everyone else is giving. You want to go deep and you want to delight your client. If you delight your client will come back over and over again. So some tips that I want to give you around this. Number one, if you want to get good at recommending print and pattern to your client, you need to become a forensic scientist. It's a bit like color. It's a little bit like style. You have to look at all the clues. They won't be the exact same for everyone. You cannot give general recommendations if you're going to send your client away delighted. You have to move away from being a generalist and get much, much more deep in what you're providing to your client. They will love it. I am telling you now, they're going to absolutely adore it, because you're talking about them. You're talking about their uniqueness. You're providing something for them that nobody else can provide. And you're showing them their natural beauty. You're showing them their natural lines and how to make the most of their natural lines. So your client is going to go away thrilled when you can give them prints that work for them. As I said previously, online color and online style has given you an amazing chance to get pictures prior to the consultation. So even if you are doing still in-house color analysis or in-house style, ask your clients to send pictures beforehand so that you can analyze the pictures in your own time and create your recommendations before the client is sitting in front of you. Because it's very hard to come up with a second set of recommendations when your client is sitting in front of you. It's more difficult. It's more difficult to give them something structured that they can actually run with. Okay, the next tip I have for you is to consider have a whole consult on this area. Yeah, so I've talked to you about this already. So the idea that there is enough to just have a consultation on print and pattern. There's enough, either as a module on your online program, or as an individual session if somebody is coming in to see you. So consider having a whole consult on this area. Sorry, my words are coming out a bit weird this morning. Maybe I just need a drink of water. So my last piece of advice, or my last tip on determining the best prints and patterns for your clients, is to become an expert on yourself. Become an expert on yourself, because that is the best place to start. You can work with yourself. You can understand all the lines in your own face. You can understand the texture in your own hair. You can understand the different shapes that you see in your face, and in the lines of your face and in the lines of your hair. And this will massively help you to take the next step and start working with your clients. So you first have to become an expert in yourself. And my experience is most people are really hit and miss with prints and patterns. I know I was hit and miss for many years. I was hit and miss for many years in my own business, even though I was a qualified personal stylist and I was working with clients, but I wasn't able to give the depth of knowledge because I didn't have the information basically, and nobody had talked to me about it, so I didn't really know about it. I mean, I think it's easier now with so much information online, but when I started out, it was a lot harder. And if it wasn't provided to me in the initial training that I had, I didn't really have anyone to learn from. Okay, so I am going to talk now a little bit about the top that I'm wearing and my own features. If you're listening to this on the podcast, what I recommend is that you go back into my Savvy Personal Stylists and Image Consultants online network. So it's my free Facebook group, and have a look at what I'm wearing. But I'm going to basically talk you through why I think this is one of my best prints, talking about the practical steps that I talked about already. So the first thing I talked about considering is your coloring and your level of contrast. So I am a cool summer with low to medium level contrast. Okay, so that is the first piece of information that I'm going to use. So you can see that in my top, I have chosen cool blues. I have chosen a little bit of turquoise. There is not high contrast in the pattern that I chose. It's all different levels of blue. There's a gray blue, there's a brighter blue. Even the white has a little bit of blue in it. So the coloring and the level of contrast is really one of the first things you consider. So that was the basic information that most of us know. So I have varying levels of blue that work for my coloring in a low to medium level contrast. This is on the lower side of contrast, I would say. You will also notice that there is some embellishment. I don't know if you can see it underneath my necklace. There is some embellishment with shine on it on the neckline, but there's not a lot. There's not a lot because I am quite matte. My hair is quite matte. My skin is quite matte. And I'm not going to, I don't look well in a lot of shine. I really don't. It doesn't reflect my natural coloring. So I find that, for instance, fabrics that are more muted, that have some surface. I love embellishment, but it is a matte embellishment rather than shine, because that's what works with my coloring. Okay. Texture in my skin and my hair. So I have a lot of texture in my hair. My hair is quite thick. It's actually quite wavy. There's lots of different colors in my hair. So I have to take that into consideration. There's also straight and curved lines in my hair. So that is something that I can incorporate into my print. So I find that because of my hair, I do well with texture. I don't have a lot of texture in my skin, actually. It's matte, doesn't have a lot of texture, but my hair in particular has a lot of texture. If you have curls, like I was at the hair salon this morning and my hair stylist, that's why my hair looks so beautiful. I try and make myself beautiful for you guys. Oftentimes I'm really casual, but when I come on here live on video, I try to make an effort. So anyways, going back to my hairstylist, she's really, really small curls. And she had a very tight paisley print on, and it looked amazing on her because you had that continuation from her hair into her outfit. And that's what you're really doing. You're extending what you naturally see in the body out into the print that you're wearing. So that was pretty amazing. Okay, lines in the face and body. Now, as I said, have a combination of straight and curved lines. My eyebrows are curved. The hood on my eyes are curved. My eyes are curved. My nose is curved. My lower lip is curved. My cheeks have some curving them, especially when I gain weight. But the overall shape of my hip face is actually a softened diamond. It is a softened diamond. I am narrow on the temples and I am narrow lower down on my face. So the widest part of my face is actually my cheekbones. So I have a softened diamond face, and that shape is actually replicated in my upper lip. It's replicated in my upper lip, and even my eyes kind of have that softened almond shape. They're almond shape, which is kind of a softened diamond. So I find that print and pattern with that soft and diamond shape works so well for me. It really works really, really well for me. So you'll often see that I wear it in an earring. I have a softened diamond shape here in my earring with texture in my earring, and I added a little crystal. These were actually Park Lane earrings that were really too long for my face, so I shortened them and I added a little crystal in the same colors that you see in the top. And I find if I put too much color, because I don't actually have a lot of color, I'm quite muted and soft without a lot of color. So I find that these earrings knock back the color, and they make this top work beautifully for me. Now, if you look at the print in the top, I'm trying to see, can you see it? I'm going to just tilt the camera down a little bit so you can see it, hopefully. You will see that, there we go. You will see that the top has some softened diamond shapes in it. Can you see that? Even though it's a paisley, it's really, really hard to find a cool paisley. But what I've done here is I found the perfect paisley, and I have this actually top for many, many years. And there's actually a softened diamond in that bigger part of the print. And that's why it works so beautifully for me. I had to look for a long time to figure out why this top works so well for me. But when I had time to analyze it, when I had time to really think about it, the reason it works so well is because of that softened diamond shape, the color, the texture, the scale also, the scale of the print. My features are quite small. The scale of my body is medium to large. So I need a slightly bigger print. So that big diamond that I just showed you there is quite a large print, but it is combined with the smaller print that works better with my features. And then the other thing to consider is the space around the print. So I have quite a good bit of space, nice clean space around my features. So you will notice on the diamond shape itself, there is quite a bit of space around the smaller print. So it takes into consideration that space around my features. So this is possibly the best print I could find, but of course it's difficult to find, but at least I know what I'm looking for. And it's just pretty amazing when you find that print. And I adore this print. And if I had gone to a personal stylist who would have been able to talk me through a print like this and explain to me how it works so well, I would be a raving fan for life. And I would tell everyone, and I would go back over and over again, I assure you. Okay, and then did I also cover style personality? So style personality is really, really important also. I mean, I love a small amount of florals, but mostly I'm a classic, and I love something a bit unique, something a little bit vintage, something a little bit different. That's why I love this top as well. It always reminds me of Singapore because I wore it in Singapore for many, many years. I always get compliments when I wear it. I can wear it with shorts, or I can wear it with a linen pants, or I can wear it with a skirt. There's so many options with it. And I love this because it's unique. Nobody else kind of has it. Nobody else, I've never ever seen anybody with this top. It's unique, it's different, it fits with my style personality. And I think that's absolutely key, to understand that, you know, your client wants something that's a little bit different. They don't want, in many cases, to follow the crowd. Okay, so I haven't seen many people joining me live this morning for some reason. Oh, I see Colette. Hi, Colette. I'm just wondering, am I in completely the wrong group here? Or where am I? There's actually nobody has joined me this morning except Colette. Hey, Colette. Brilliant to see you. Colette is a bit of a genius around colour and print and line as well. So I hope you have learned something here this morning, Colette. And if you have any questions, pop them into the comments right now. As I said, I'm not sure if it's the internet that's acting up a little bit or there's just nobody joining me here this morning. Whatever the reason, if you have a question right now, pop it into the chat and I'm happy to answer it. Now, while I'm waiting for you to get your questions in there, I want to let you know that I do provide print and pattern training much more in depth than you'll see in most trainings in my 5 weeks to online color expert. Actually, the most training is available in my Color Made Simple program, which is a bonus that comes along with the 5 weeks to online color expert. And the price is going up on the 1st of June. So if you have been thinking about 5 weeks to online color expert, which I personally believe, and many of my clients believe, that it's the best training out there in terms of basic color training, in terms of online color training, and also in terms of the support that I provide. I have a support group that goes along with this training where you never feel alone. You can bring your clients. I will help you to analyze your client. The other almost 60, we're 59, the other 60 consultants in there will also help you. So it's an amazing program. It's currently 1099. It's going up to 1,200 euros on the 1st of June. There are 8 amazing bonuses. I am actually gonna pop the link in here now. Oh no, that's the wrong link. Okay, I'm going to pop the link in here if you haven't got it already. So basically, that is going up on the 1st of June. So if you're interested in getting that, get it before the 1st of June. Okay, so that is how much. Oh, I went for 40 minutes this morning. I was hoping to keep it to 30, but as I said, there is so much in print and pattern, and I didn't even go into that much detail, to be honest. There is so much detail. You could definitely run this nearly as a full program. There's so much in it. So if you have any questions about anything that I've talked about this morning, pop me a message underneath this video. If you're interested in my 5 weeks to online color expert, get it before next Wednesday because it will never be at this price again. And that's all for me this morning. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful weekend ahead. And I look forward to seeing you next week. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend.